What is up, car addicts? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for May 25th through May 31st, 2023. The current prize ride for this week is the Ocelot Swinger. This vehicle is primarily based on the Jaguar XJ13 and has a normal price of about $900,000. To get this car for free, you have to place top 3 in a Pursuit Series race for 3 days in a row. Now, in terms of performance, this car is in the Sports Classics class, and it does make it into top 10 for most tracks with pretty good handling and customization as well. The only issue with this car is the fact that it unfortunately has the slow handling flags, which, as we know, makes it very annoying to drive over bumpy roads and such as it slows down. In terms of the test drive vehicles for this week, we have the Hellfire, the Turismo Classic, and the Chino as well. And for current gen console users, we have the HSW Divest 8 as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of a casino podium vehicle, we have the Desert Raid, which is pretty random, but anyways, this vehicle is primarily based on the Red Bull SMG buggy and has a normal price of just under $700,000. Now, in terms of off-road capability, this vehicle is in the off-roads class and is one of the best off-roaders on my personal test track, in second place right behind the Draugr. However, for track performance, it's still in top 5, but obviously it trails way behind the Draugr and the BF400. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the Grotti GT500 and the Obey 10F. And for Simeons, we have the Fudo GTX, the Cyclone, the Vaca, the Contender, and the Zion Classic as well. Moving on to the discounts, in terms of property discounts, we unfortunately don't have any properties on sale this week. However, we do have 30% off the Acid Lab supplies, which I guess is something. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 30% off the Cyclone, the original one. So this car is in the supercar class and has fantastic acceleration and decent customization, but obviously it's a ways off the pace of some of the top supercars these days. The Ocelot Virtue has sort of taken that quick electric supercar crown, not including the HSW Cyclone 2 on current gen, of course. Next up, we have the Stinger. So this car is in the Sports Classics class and is one of the slower ones in that class, which makes sense considering it's an OG vehicle. And unfortunately, it offers basically no visual customization, but regardless, I think it's still a pretty good looking car that's nice to drive as well. Moving on to the Summer San Andreas website, we have 30% off the Vigero ZX. So this car is in the muscle car class and is very quick, being in top 5 for track performance. Now obviously the HSW variant of this car on current gen dominates the class, but if you're on old gen or PC, the current king would still be the Buffalo STX by quite a substantial margin. But regardless, I think this Vigero is an incredible car with great customization, a very realistic exterior design, and just a really nice and fun car to drive as well. Now I will mention that for some reason the Buffalo STX does handle a lot better than the Vigero ZX. The Vigero has more of like an upscale traditional muscle car handling. It's like slightly better than traditional muscle cars, which makes it very fun to drive, but also a bit more difficult to drive as well. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the adversary mode Power Play, and double money NRP on the free mode events / challenges as well. Also, we have a 1.5 times production speed boost on the Acid Lab, which is nice. Honestly, I would have preferred 1.5 times or double money on this, but at least we got something. Production speed is decent, I guess. And as a bonus this week, if you raid a stash house in free mode on 3 different days this week, you'll get a $100,000 bonus. In terms of new content, new color variations of the Uglies have been added, which is Rockstar's version of the Crocs, and new cuffs as well. And lastly, for the time trials, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Vespucci Beach. This week's normal time trial is end to end. I highly recommend a vehicle with a high top speed for that one. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the motorcycle race Art to Art. I highly recommend the Power Surge for that race. And if you're on current gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Hakachu Drag. And lastly, for current gen console users, the HSW time trial is terminal. As always, the HSW Hakachu drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, there's only 3 this week, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Vaqueros DX. As I mentioned before, it's the fastest muscle car on current gen with the HSW upgrade, plus it has tons of customization, very realistic exterior styling, and it's just a ton of fun to drive. Anyways guys, overall this event week is pretty decent. The main saving grace is the 50% production speed on the Acid Lab, but the rest of the event week is sort of average with only 3 vehicles on sale and no properties on sale. Also to note, as I mentioned in the last event week video, we are roughly about 2 months away from the summer DLC update, so I would definitely start saving up some money if you haven't already. As we know, time goes by pretty quickly and you kind of lose track, and then the DLC is right around the corner and you only have, $1 million in GTA, so highly suggest saving up some money in advance. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.